Hello everybody. I'm on a different headset, so if I sound different, that's why. I'm just going to do a quick recording here about the next league race, the Laguna Seca. I'm in the Subaru at the moment because I want to show about the Subaru, and I will mention again about the gear changes. Let's see. Okay, this is the view that I know a few people are using. It's the view I would use if there was no in-car view. For the Subaru upshift, as soon as the red bar appears on the rev gauge, it seems really early, but it's not. If we go on to a different view, this view, and we look at when the red bar appears on the rev gauge in the centre, when it appears on the right, or compared to when the rev gauge on the right, it's about 6,500 RPM, which is a decent rev range to upshift in the Subaru. It's quicker, it's more stable, and it'll save fuel, or should I say, it won't burn fuel wastefully. Now the Subaru should be absolutely fucking brilliant around this track, but a lot of it comes down to doing the shifting at the right point. You do the shifting at the right point, like I mentioned with the rev gauge, this car will be extremely stable for you. You start going long on your gears, it's going to start becoming unstable. Okay, turn 1, it's kind of actually turn 1 and 2. I'm going to brake about the end of the sand on the right here. Ignore the first apex to take the second apex, and the aim is to be full throttle at that second apex. Nice gentle early braking for a third gear right hander. Shouldn't need to downshift here, just to lift off end of the curb, turn in. In the Subaru you can clip that sausage, you'll be okay. Go under the mother's bridge and then gently on the brakes. Probably third gear corner, but you can get on the power very early in that corner as long as you're not hard on the brakes. Okay, this is where you're just going to have to commit. Oh, I went too soon. It's fourth gear corner, get a turn-in point, we'll have a look at that in a second. Okay, brake just before the crest of the hill. Now I've gone down to second gear there, but look how high up the revs I was on the exit of the corner. Too high up the revs, so ideally we want to take the corkscrew in third gear. Penultimate corner is just a very gentle usage of the brakes, and I'll show you the point where. Brake at the 100, second gear, and again once we've got to that apex curve, full throttle. Okay, so turn 1, the aim is to not brake too late here. About the end of the sand on the right hand side is the absolute latest, so here, because I'm hard on the brakes at that point. Don't get near the first curb, we want to get near the sausage, and we want to be full throttle at that point. Up to fourth gear at braking point 2, gentle dab of the brakes for third gear, balance the throttle through the corner. Braking point 1, don't brake, well maybe a little dab of brake, but you don't need to downshift. Ideally you want to get onto the apex curb. Okay, bit of braking just after the curb, sorry, bridge, down to third gear, wait till the sausage curb, and then you can go full throttle. Okay, up here, gotta be brave. Okay, so we go over the crest, bit of brake, turn it in, and then full throttle. Now that was nowhere near perfect, it was nowhere near correct, but it's good enough. And again, brake before the crest, third gear, that'll allow us to go in, and as we go down the hill, full throttle, and our revs are in a good place. Gentle lift off the throttle to get it turned in towards the curb, and then we're full throttle. Gentle brake at the start of the curb, go down to third, get it in towards the sausage curb, and then floor it. Braking at braking point 3 for a second gear corner, turn in at the end of the curb, get near the sausage, and then go full throttle. It's very stable, very easy in the Subaru, very comfortable to drive it like this. Okay, so hard on the brakes. Nice full throttle, braking marker 2, little dab of brakes, third gear, and you can't straddle that curb in the Subaru. Okay, we want to get in over the curb, perfect, nice, so fourth gear there, we're not up and down the gears here. Okay, brake just after the bridge, we're going to use third gear, and we're full throttle. Okay, again we're going to go just over the crest, dab a brake and turn it in, straddle the sausage, beautiful, perfect. Now the aim for me is to straddle that sausage curb in that corner. Okay, once again hard on the brakes. Now bear in mind, if you are following people up here, you're going to have to brake earlier or lift off earlier. Okay, come off the throttle, knock it down to third so it turns in. You can then boot the throttle, brake at the start of the curb, only gentle, get it down to third, let it roll into the corner, and then we're full throttle on the exit. Braking at the start of all the tyre marks, just in case your brake marker board is in there. And once we're at the apex, we're full throttle. Must admit, this car's fucking lovely to drive around here. Okay, so I'm actually going to brake a little bit early this time down into turn 1 as if I was following people. It means I can come off the brakes a bit more and get myself tighter into the corner, full throttle much earlier. Oh, careful of dipping a wheel on the gravel. Going to get away with it though because it's the Subaru. No downshift here, you don't need to. Turning in at about the end of the curb on the right for this corner. Okay, and then again we have to be committed, so dab a brake just before the crest, straddle the sausage, and I'm alright with that. Okay, I'm going to lift off at the bridge, then brake at the same point I was mentioning, and look, braking a lot more stable. It's not on the edge, so I would highly recommend. I'm going to see if I can hold fourth gear here actually. Clip the sausage, yeah, you can do that fourth gear, I'd do that in fourth. Let's see if we can do this one in fourth. You can, yeah. I think personally I'd still use third because it'd give a little more acceleration out of the corner. If third gear was too high on the rev range, then I wouldn't use it. Yeah, so the corkscrew, whether you're following people or not, you want stability under braking, and one of the reasons that people end up all out of shape going into the corners is because they've braked too late. And when they're braking fully, because they've braked too late, and you're going over the crest of the hill, the car is getting all unbalanced because the weight of the car is moving around all over the place. I don't know why I'm driving on this fucking view still. Yeah, so the weight of the car is all over the place. What I would say is to the Subaru drivers as well, when you're downshifting, don't downshift too soon, because if you're using a lot of revs on your downshifts, then you're in a much, you're burning more fuel. Okay, if we lift off of the Gran Turismo sign and then brake at the same point, using the same amount of brakes, I've now slowed down more than enough for the corner, which means we can lift off at the sign, we can then go full brakes just before the crest of the hill, and then as we're going over the crest we can actually come off the brakes. That means we've now got a much more stable car. And it can actually turn out to be faster. Something I'll mention as well is obviously having changed to this camera angle. This is the camera view I use obviously, and this is the camera view that many drivers use. The corner before the corkscrew, the blind left-hander, I'm fucking waffling here, yeah, the blind left-hander, well, I said you've got to commit to it. If you're on this camera view, it's very difficult to see the curb until you're over the crest of the hill. So even I was sort of thinking, do I turn in here or not? I was sort of not committed to it. Now, if I was practicing loads on this camera angle, I'd get to a point where I'd be more than comfortable with it. I noticed straight away, as soon as I went to the in-car view, because I was sitting that little bit higher, I was able to actually see the curb before I get over the crest of the hill. So I can already see the curb that I need to be aiming for, and that allows me to then pick where I'm going to be placing my car a hell of a lot easier. And if you're on this view, you should also be able to see the curb quite nicely. I'm going way up the rest there. So can we see the curb? Yep. Much easier to see and turn in. So before we're over the crest, we can actually just see the curb, which allows me to not hesitate about when I'm going to actually turn into the corner. Okay, anyway, I hope these bits of information have been very useful to you. Good luck, and go and win a fucking race, will ya?